Welcome back, everyone, for another reiteration on the mechanics of consciousness, a small life update, Q&A, and more. Go ahead and skip through this video if you'd like. You never know where you might end up. Initially, there's sort of an intro that I do, a rambling on consciousness, and so forth and so on. So drop your question in the chat. Again, Instagram, the scrolling on here, it's terrible, so if I miss your question at all, I'm so sorry, it's not me. What's up, Not So? What's up, Sub? Or Subi Plays? What's going on, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Another rant on plant medicine, consciousness, increasing your quality of life, and so on. I guess sort of just a preface. It doesn't matter if you believe anyone or not, or that anything is true. It either works for you or it doesn't. Either you're increasing your quality of life and adeptness, or you're not. Either you're getting something out of what you're listening to, or you're not. Either it's affecting other people positively when you communicate it to them, or it's not. We live in sort of a polar universe. So, what's up, Lane? I hope I'm reading that right. Where do I live? I'm currently in Tennessee. What's up, Chris in Australia? Johnny. What's going on, guys? Why do you think people have issues unlocking their chakras? Okay, so the chakras, really just, to put it simply, this was our ancestors' way of understanding the different intelligences and chemicals and so on in our body. There are different parts of our brain, our nervous system, right? The energies that conduct our life. The gut instinct is a chakra. Emotions are chakras. There aren't just 7 chakras. There are 114 chakras. What we have of yoga in the Americas is sort of the explain like I'm 5 version of this, right? Yoga, the word yoga means union. Union with what? Well, you're unionizing your egoic character with the intelligence of the universe, the love of everything that is. It seems woo, it seems crazy, it seems far out. How could our ancestors be so smart? Well, they were smarter than us, for sure. It's not so shocking. We're the aliens. So why do people have trouble unlocking their chakras? Well, for the same reasons that it's difficult to admit our own pain, address the things that we're doing to ourselves that limit our ability to evolve. I can't do this, I'll never be able to do this, blah, blah, blah. Really, that's just, self-reinforced rhetoric and the avoidance of your own fears. Right? We're afraid to act on things that we legitimately might know work. We just are afraid to admit to ourselves that we deserve it, or we have a lot of shame that we haven't let go, right? It's a healing process, it's a doing process. The hardest part of life is action. We already know what to do, we're just afraid to do it. What will other people think? And so on. So the chakras, right? Listening to your gut instinct. Let's say that that's an ability of the chakra that we can colloquially, you know what I'm trying to say, agree upon as a sort of a temporary axiomatic agreement for this conversation. None of those words were necessary anyway. So people have trouble unblocking their chakras again for the same reason they have trouble going to therapy. Or so in this case, it's listening to your gut instinct. Your gut instinct says, do this, and it's beyond words. It's an etheric concept that hasn't yet been played out. You can use logic and the narrative of your emotionality to talk yourself out of something that's smarter in that moment, smarter than your fears. It's instinctual. Your instincts are built into your nervous system. It's an incredible phenomenon. It's the most beautiful thing that we can imagine. That at least for hundreds of millions of years, there's been the continuance of Earth's genome expressed in us and everything that we see, which is all dependent on each other to exist. Everything is dependent. You're dependent. People say you don't need, psilocybin and mushrooms to become enlightened, man. Just hold the Bible to your heart and you'll be good, man. And sure, all right, fine, but they dramatically accelerate your consciousness. Medicine is good. Food is not evil. Medicine is not evil. It's the rhetoric of the devil. The devil is really the shadowy aspect of the collective psychology. Right, the negative aspects, and so on, whatever. So the chakras, right? Really just the varying intelligences in our body, mapped out by our ancestors, and that was the science of yoga. Anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome in. Sorry I missed everything. I'm gonna scroll up and do my best to acknowledge every single person. Let's see. Do I smoke weed? Of course, every single day. Haven't heard of Dan Winter, no. The Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East, no. I haven't heard of that. What advice to someone who cannot discern religion and spiritual desires? You have an issue with authority and you struggle to accept a religion, but you want to put your soul at ease. Okay, so it goes back to, I'll make it simple so that we can get to everyone. Just so you don't expect a rant here again. Really, either information works for you or it doesn't. The most potent information of your life is the mistakes you make in an attempt to prove the validity of your thought, right? So I'm a thinking being. I came up with a thought. I applied that thought. It worked. Cool. Now I can trust myself, and that's what confidence is. I made mistakes over and over again intentionally so that I could grok the highest wisdom possible, right? And the deeper that you sense into your mistakes, and the looseness with which you identify with it increases the effect of that information, right? You get more out of the mistake if you say, this doesn't mean anything about me. Okay. So whether it's a religion or spirituality, whatever, you're doing things, you're making things happen. Either they work or they don't. Generally considering a higher power that's unconditionally loving towards you helps you heal, because you recognize every single one of my mistakes this guy knew I would make, but he loves me anyway. Cool. I can heal. I deserve love, blah, blah, blah. I have forever to do this. This is my next best guess, and I'm going to die anyway. That's what's funny, is we all die. It's hilarious. We care so much about our identity, yet it won't matter. So even just holding that concept in your mind without truly figuring anything out, just inviting these concepts of higher vibration does the work on your psychology. At the end of the day, it's action. Acting upon your internal desires. Let's specify that. Internal desire, well, I want to get high all the time and it's bad for me. I desire to do that. So... okay, Samantha Cole, Bobby Jones, we'll talk with you. All right. So it's what would satisfy your spirit, the spirit of you, what you like to do and who you want to be and what you want to get done, where you want to go. So, anyway, it turned into a rant, and I said it wouldn't. I appreciate you, Frost. What's up, B-Show in California? Yes. What's up, Pleagle? Hope you're still here. I know you. You should know why you believe what you believe. What ended you up there? Do you make a full-time earning doing socials? So not directly in cash, but definitely an opportunity. The cash was just enough, and our world is inflated. I really have the books, and I do the free content, and generosity comes my way in various ways, but I'm not rich in finance. But I get it done and I'm happy as hell. I'm happy. Isn't that the goal? I'm happy. And what is happiness? Well, happiness to me is the potentiation for your own joy, the potentiation for moments of joy. It's my orientation towards reality that allows me more frequent moments of a joyful zip through my body. Obviously, number one is health. How am I setting up my chemicals? My chemicals make me feel in this physical reality. How can I influence them through behavior and mindset? What are the elements of a human life that I need? Well, social connection, physical intimacy, vulnerability. I have all of those things. And I wish to tell the entire world that it's not as hard to do any of these things as we think. It's not as hard to make friends or find a lover than we think. When we do the great work on ourselves, when we humbly integrate our pain into wisdom, when we alchemize blah blah blah, we become a higher version of ourselves. And like attracts like, blah blah blah. It's easy to be good. Just do it. You deserve it. No shame involved. I'm flawed, and I love and forgive you for everything that you've done. So of course an omnipotent force would do that. Of course your family members who might have passed away would do that, because they can see every one of the mistakes that you're going to make, that you don't know that you're going to make. They forgive you because they know that, and you're going to have to do the great work anyway, blah blah blah. You're good. I love you. So that's where we start. Oh yeah, that came from, no, I don't have tons of money. I don't need tons of money. In fact, it's so funny. Money is funny. Is that the more, I guess, truly spiritual and truly intelligent you become, you don't need as much money. There's other clever opportunities. You work with the earth. You work with the cosmos, and yes, it's getting into woo, cult leader stuff, whatever. Trust in the power of the universe. Just do good, and you'll be blessed. There's something to it, man. I swear to God, which is funny. Yes, use your voice, right? The throat chakra, your ability to communicate these etheric concepts that exist outside of you, able to be made sense of before you make sense of them. Let's reiterate. That means when you're talking to someone, there's a vague thing in you that isn't words yet, then you make words into, and it makes sense to someone else. Really what it is you're pointing towards a mutual truth, an extant quality of our reality that can be independently discovered by, I guess, these organisms with hyper-developed thought. And you can say that, or you can say, I spoke to my friend Jimmy and we thought the same thing, man. We agreed. That's what an agreement is, right? Always when you're thinking about these heightened and enlightened concepts, turn it into a southern accent and it'll make way more sense. You just vibe with it more. So what's up, Xander? How about you keep up the good work too, man? And thank you. Yep, asking you shall receive. I prayed to be stronger and more loving, so God sent me troubled people to help. That's the beauty in prayer, y'all, is that you don't just get courage, you gotta earn it. Right? It's through the triumph of our own mortal will that gives things a reality and meaning. If we were able to cheat ourselves out of challenge, then, boy, what does anything mean? Anyway, it's a Q&A, guys. Drop your questions. That's what's up. Okay, ramble and rant. What I originally wanted to say is that all of the stigmas and misperceptions about spirituality and plant medicine are due to the lack of education and the fact that it's easier to stay the same than it is to work on yourself. So if 100 people around one person aren't working on themselves and it's kind of okay to be an asshole, then no one in that 100 person group will change unless there's a threatening life event unless they are, mortally or incredibly, whatever, I don't know what the word is here, unless they are fiercely confronted with their own triflings, then no change will take place, no true reshaping of a spirit who is lost will take place. It's extreme. It can happen through extreme depression. You can be completely destined from birth to experience these things, but in America, at least, half of America is obese, and then similar statistics are for crime and evil and corrupt religious practices and so on. So half of people are gone, and you as a conscious person have to deal with that, have to accept that. And that's where purpose lies. If you don't know your purpose to be alive, why am I alive? Well, first of all, it's to be, it's to experience, it's to breathe in, it's to smell things, it's to have a slice of pizza. That's your purpose, that's your meaning. Everybody go watch Soul. Right, the little seed that falls from the tree, you can see all of life in that single seed. That's why you're here, to see the sunset, to watch the leaf fall. And then you get to do things like saying something that makes someone feel good. Even more than that, you can make a chair for them and give it to them, and they'd be like, oh man, I'll give you like 50 apples. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I'm using rough examples. Do something good, get something good back. You're ready to run the commune? Yes, let's go. See, this is what we're looking for. So if you guys don't know, I run a nonprofit, 501c3, which means we're incorporated into the law. So if I lie to you, I go to jail. If I use money in the wrong way, I go to jail. We have to report everything. See what I'm saying? So that's the benefit. That's the benefit of the law is that, if you're with it, you have to keep your word, or you suffer the consequences. So the commune. So Saba is my nonprofit. It's a decentralized ideascape to incorporate eco-conscious living into our republic. So what does this do? Well, it addresses education. So instead of going to school 1 through 12, or K1 through 12 in college, there are mentorships in micro villages. You learn how to build things. You learn how to do a garden. You learn holistic practices. And then instead of, working at a McDonald's or Walmart, you do 12 hours a week of menial labor, and you get room and board. It's actually already happening. And, if you're thinking cult vibes, go ahead and go to www.oofusa.org. Right. So, woofing is what it's called. There are independent projects out there I guess an example would be, we have 120 acres of land and we don't know what to do. We need people. Come and you get room and board. You can stay here. Or you coming from out of the continent? Well, you can come in and board here and travel and yada yada. It's like the Craigslist for gig work. It's like if Uber was decentralized and blah blah blah, things like that. So. Again, this is an idea that Saba is promoting. Saba isn't claiming to be the next Google of solar punk and deleting the Matrix. Saba is an idea to promote concepts. So that's you going out, and I don't want to run the village the way that they do. I'm going to get me and 100 of my buddies to go do it my way, do it our way, all right, and functional. So. We're clearly not led by the smartest and most spiritual individuals. So the power is going to be yours. Unless you magically think that some spiritually enlightened folk is going to be the president of America, that is, well, so you're going to be it, the average house owner. So that's what Saba is. Let me scroll up here. I know I've missed a lot. I appreciate you too, Mistress Ridiculous. Thoughts on samsara. So samsara. Let me make sure that I have this right. So that's the wheel of samsara. It's like coming into life, experiencing karma. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Right, so what would you do if you could do anything for forever? Alan Watts, blah, blah, blah. Eventually you would take risks, and then, this, a life where you forget that you're God and are bound to mortality, and blah, blah, blah. So all of your actions have a consequence. That's your free will. Your consequences are your karma. Your karma in this life are your psychological propensities of avoiding your own fears. So clearing your karma is approaching your fears and going beyond them. Approaching your pains and saying, I did not deserve that, but I have to deal with it, and I'm going to do things to become stronger. And the stronger that you become, the stronger your spirit becomes. Your spirit is your will, your willful act to move this body to do and say things, to throw stones into reality with the quality and intensity of your emotions, your energy and motion. And that is you, and you are love. So, samsara, baby. Yeah. Biohack tips. Okay. So my number one biohack tip is to contemplate the objectivity of the creation of neurocircuitry to the level that you extract your identification with your memories. Okay, so everything in my brain really is neurocircuitry. Okay, neurocircuitry that represent every concept or feeling that I have about myself. So really the way that I feel about myself or think about myself, and the things that I think I know about myself, are just habits of interpreting information. Okay, so screw the word salad and all this, anything that happened before this now. Is that your identity is a transient structure of neurocircuitry, a habit of interpreting information. So spirituality, meditation, mindfulness, whatever, is the intentional act of extracting your awareness from the habitual identification with memories. Memories that we're only inferencing upon and making conclusions about. So the biohack is to say, who I was never mattered. Who I want to be is only potential. Who I am is what I've done and what I will do. So there's no reason to self-judge. There's no reason to self-damn. It's a concept in the human domain. It's I have to hold on to this feeling or thought, otherwise that person will come get me, right? So it's a fear-based creation of identity. So you get what I mean, Pleagle. You get addicted pretty much right away. Yeah. It's the plant medicines they're hard not to get addicted to because it's immediate relief. It's relief that you don't really have to do anything so hard to achieve. How do you break out of negative thought patterns? So A negative thought pattern is a continual habitual firing of neurocircuitry, right? I'm just sitting here minding my own business, and then suddenly I think a negative thought, and I think into that negative thought, and then I think about that, and I go deeper, and I go deeper and deeper. So really the solution to this is noticing before you go down. Noticing the literal inception of the moment that you begin to incur that thought pattern, that subconscious sort of ethereal notion where suddenly you're just thinking about something, right? So part of it is you think it's worthwhile. I'll finally think the thing that'll solve all my issues. I'll finally outthink this. Really, you cannot outthink it. You have to outact it, because action creates action potentials in your brain, and then that creates a new reality. So it's noticing and replacing. It's continually noticing the negative thought and replacing it. So this is where mantras come in. What would be the perfect phrase for you to counteract the negative thoughts that you have? So I can't do this, I'll never be able to do this, right? Is replaced with, I need to practice in a disciplined way in order to be strong enough to do this. I deserve to be strong enough, and there's a science that I could adhere to achieve tangible results. That doesn't have to be your mantra, because that's a mouthful. But you want to counteract the words that you're using to hurt yourself with other words that help you, and with more frequency than you allow the other ones to defeat you. So it's a continual acceptance and love process. You have to believe that you deserve to feel better and that you can become strong enough. For me, nothing I ever said about anything I talk about worked for 5 years until it did, and now it's what I do for a living. So even all of the hidden gains that you have in your room, no one will see, that you will not witness until it's enough for there's something for you to experience something. So it's believing in yourself. It's doing it enough. It's doing it enough. Gratitude to you, Johnny. Yeah, powerful wisdom in the chat. You guys are throwing it down for sure. Did you or do you meditate? So meditation for me is spontaneous. If I need to meditate, just like if I need to go to therapy, I'll do it. I need to do it less because there's less in the way. I think we need to meditate because stuff goes in. There's a blockage. We hold on to it. We hold on to it for days and days and days. It becomes muscular tension, and we have trouble letting it go. But with a regular meditation practice and with spiritual attainment, that negativity or difficult circumstance comes in, and then it meets all of the wisdom that you did, blah, 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 spiritual attainment, yeah, and it just goes through. You integrate it faster than holding on to it, right? That's the mask, that's the pain, that's the trauma of our entire society, is this blockade of divine intelligence coming in and not coming out. We're afraid of it. We have chronic resistance. But spirituality is closing your eyes, going into your pain intentionally, going into your undeserved, unjust pain and saying, I did not deserve that. I don't deserve to be held back by this. I'm stronger than this, and I will move forward. And if you have nobody around you helping you do that, it's going to be really hard. But if you were able to do it without that, then you're going to become 300 times as strong as somebody who had someone around them. You see what I mean? So your your willingness, or the depth of the negativity that you're willing to deal with, accept, and integrate is commensurate to, or doubly so, the strength you will get on the other side. So that's the inverse corollary of pain into wisdom. The Wim Hof method, yes. So for me, it's just become spontaneous. You know, for I guess I'll give an example, and it looks kind of funny, but so there's two main methods. There's long, full, deep inhales for 25 cycles, 50 total breaths if you want to count it as that, but 25 sets of a full inhale exhale, and then 2 minutes of rapid inhales and exhales, which are harder to count. So it's just 2 minutes of doing it. So that's this is the quick one. For 2 minutes. And what you're doing is you're rapidly polarizing and depolarizing your nervous system, aka washing it with electricity, and you're oxygenating your blood. So more blood to your brain, quicker cognition, enhanced memory, enhanced everything. You're also spiking your pH, which immediately purifies your blood, right? So you're telling your blood, I need to purify. You're dumping it with oxygen, and it's blasting out things like cortisol, negative chemicals. The Eli 5 explanation. So the bad chemicals get washed out when you breathe in the good stuff. Your lungs are alchemizing the air into electricity. That's chi. That's prana. Chi, prana, ether. So that's what the Wim Hof method does. Is it purifies your blood, washes away scar tissue in your nervous system, awakens your muscles, right? Like when we say a weight was lifted off of my shoulders, it technically was, because when you lift something with your shoulders, you're contracting muscles to become stronger, to then leverage against your bones and gravity to lift something. Okay, so when we're afraid of something, we sort of tense up around the heart. And when we're traumatized in childhood, we don't know how to process that. We don't know how to go, oh, I didn't deserve that, my parents an asshole, blah, blah, blah. There's no psychological method or privileged knowledge for that small essence baby to process that. So it becomes permanent chronic tension in the body. That's why yoga and meditation go together. Yoga is the smoothing of our muscles, and the meditation is the closing of our eyes and then going in to our psychology and processing those memories intentionally, which is where compassion comes in, the virtues, humility, patience, all of these things. Patience, humility, compassion, all of these things are virtues because they work in every single situation. They work with our dominant scenario as a human being, right? I'm going to have emotion. I'm going to have a brain. And the passage of time will happen. So patience is your ability to sever yourself from the frustration due to the passage of time and your limitations against it. Compassion is the necessary force to understand your negative emotions and the pain that you felt in order to transmute that into a higher understanding of our reality and the limitless flow of your humanity. Okay? And humility is the ability to accept all these implications into your literal character so that you don't become too cocky or arrogant. You say, I know a little something, I can do something, but I know that other people don't know what I know, so I have to help them along. I can't judge them for not knowing. And so on and so forth. Okay. So, and that was off of Wim Hof. God. I'm glad you like it. God, I always need a grounding force in the chat because, see, what's crazy about this The live stream is that I'm speaking to a piece of glass, to usernames. I don't know anything about the intimate details of your life or who you are or how you're receiving me. Normally, if you were speaking to a bunch of people at once, they're there knowing that they're going to listen to you, and you can see their faces, you can see their emotional reaction, you can see their cringes, you can see like, oh, I'm never going to say that again. I don't know any of that, so I'm going to continually say things that I should never say again or don't want to, just because I can't see and I don't know you. So, have some love for me. This is hard. Oh yeah. It's the southern alien of peace. Yeah. Oh my god. Reincarnation, absolutely. So even just the consideration of reincarnation helps understand the mechanics of the universe. So again, talking about our metaphysicality. So the body dies. We look at the context of our entire life, all of the pains that we gave to everybody, all of the joys that we gave to everybody. We understand what our effect of incarnation did to other people. We recognize our failings, the things that we didn't learn, the things that we missed out on. Oh my God, I didn't do enough of this. So in my next incarnation, I'm going to make sure that I set up my life so that I learn these things, become stronger in these areas, so that it isn't as easy on me, blah, blah, blah. So it's a recontextualization, right? It's your next best guess as to how to dwell within eternity. Eternity is foreverness and getting to do whatever you want for forever, and everything is possible. So apparently what happens with this godlike intelligence given to every individuation of consciousness itself are these lifespans, sort of a focused lens of infinite cosmic intelligence to experience a limited set of laws and rules, the binding to your mortality so that you actually have to do something. So reincarnation is a fancy way of saying, on to the next simulation. So we can see this in our own intuition. We can see this as created by great works that have been seen by many people and have had a lot of spirituality behind them, like the Midnight Gospel, right? It's a sort of, it touches the truth. It's not a perfect representation. I don't know if Clancy really existed, but in a way, this is a funny version of that, a simulation of what you could do for forever. So infinite bliss turns out isn't as interesting as a linear set of experiences, a drama of existence, feeling like you're actually doing something instead of just doing nothing forever and being satisfied because you probably had enough of that. What if you tried to incur non-satisfaction on purpose to stimulate yourself? So these are considerations. These are contemplations that we can have and even finding out about the physics of our reality, the science of it, how to take advantage of it, how to push forward humanity. Nothing that we consider has to be a truth to be effectual. Every scientific discovery has been done through intuition, just a long consideration of things, 20 failed things, and one thing that succeeded. Einstein got one. Out of like 50 he thought were real. Some of our greatest philosophers and poets got something right, but were chronic rapists and slave owners and terrible people. So, dunno. Who's the architect? Nothingness, everythingness, infinity, us, doesn't matter. There's no one personified architect. All right, if you personify God, you say he or she is judging me for this. Right? But a lot of the things that you're judging yourself for or implying that judgment upon are ignorances, and ignorances that you were ignorant to. So you were literally innocent. A lot of the judgment, a lot of the damnation that we apply to the public is applied to innocent people who didn't know any better. Where does it stop? Does it stop at 18 years old? That's when you should be fully responsible for yourself? That's when you don't need a parent anymore? That's when you don't need a mentor anymore? Or should it be We're continual cosmic children, unbeknownst to our ignorances, and forever unconditionally loved by that which has created us. Which just sounds at least a little bit more true. It doesn't have to be completely true, but just what feels better. What feels better? A 95-year shot at existence and you had no influence over your life circumstance, and then when you die, that's it for forever, nothingness? Or there's some sort of way that this is all set up so that it's fair, so that if you failed in this life and murdered people but have spiritual regret, you have a chance to go into a more difficult life to experience what you gave to other people as some sort of eternal penance for your soul, so that you got what was coming and evened out into some sort of infinite cosmic homeostasis. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, really, what the majority of people need to hear, more than the secrets to our enlightenment or reality, is, I love you. What the majority of people need to hear is that you can do it. I believe in you. What everyone needs to hear is that small dream that you have that you think is weird to other people. We're desperate for you to at least a little bit act upon that. Not only is weirdness good for the gene pool, the ideas that we have in place aren't working. Anything that you have is better. Anything that you have is Joe Schmo who has never left the house in 20 years. You have an idea. You have something to give. Right? Love is the most powerful force because we can all give it. We can all receive it. It's infinite and costs nothing to give. And actually, when you give it, you get more out of it than you gave. Put it on a t-shirt, baby. And call me because I need those royalties. Let's see, where do we go from that? Yeah, everyone needs to hear that, oh my god. Okay, so for me, I was alone in my room. No one was coming to save me. My greatest savior was my mom. And you know why? Because she believed in me. She believed in a way outside of the system, a way outside of high school, a way outside of college, and a way with my talent. She believed in me and said, yes, Campton, I see what you're doing is working. And what was working was psychedelics in my room, playing video games, and talking to people, trying to help. I literally smoked pot and played video games and became enlightened, whatever that means to you. No, I'm not Buddha, no, I'm not Jesus, but I think I know something. And that was done through weed and video games. How is that possible? Let me explain before you click out of here. So, I'm just kidding. Well, the game was Rocket League. It's a perfect 3D physics simulator. So the level of complexity is akin to, IRL professional sports, but it's a controller. There's a limitless skill ceiling, so it's like you can still invent new tricks in this game. And it's a perfect 3D physics simulator. So I was able to get into intimate touch with the value of practice, the value of practice beyond what I thought about myself. I saw everything as neural circuitry. All I have to do is do this enough and then I'll get it. And I thought I sucked. I repeated the thing enough and then I was wowed by my ability. I felt good at being good at a thing. It was spiritual. Weed enhanced my ability to get better faster. I was like, why is this? Why am I getting better at video games and I'm smoking weed? And I thought about that a lot. And I realized our ancestors already figured it out. Cool, I'm just going to keep doing it. I don't care what other people think. And then the things that I was coming to, I spoke about to others, and it was working for them, and they didn't have to do the same things that I did. So an immediate, subjective, and anecdotal corroboration of using psychedelics in combination with the contemplation of neurocircuitry to help other people and innovate on modern sciences. So anyway, had to explain that full thing. Hope you stayed to listen to it. Games are incredible. In fact, this is a game. And we can save the world through gamification. If Pokemon Go was it, instead of Pokemon, it's like cleaning up a beach, and you see like beacons for collecting points to do a good thing, and you get points back, then we could pick up the world and yeah. Cool. So anyway, my phone's about to die, and I want to save this, so that's why I'm going. Love you. Thank you for hanging out. If I missed your question, I'm so sorry. And yeah, cool. Check out my book, Spiritual Cannabis. It tells you basically how to use weed to become enlightened and how to upgrade your human, which is sort of a conglomeration of everything that I talk about in my videos, and access to links and resources so that you can do the research for yourself. Again, it doesn't matter if you believe me or anything that I say in my videos. Either something works for you or it doesn't. I trust that you're subjectively experimenting so that you can prove these things. And either we can become friends or we don't. There are billions of people that like us, billions of people that don't. And that's fine. I don't care. I'm doing this for the genuine interest of humanity. And you have it too, so you know where it's coming from. I really want to help humanity. I have to be honest. That's where it comes from. Love you.